Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a ranked game in Teamfight Tactics, and in this video we're going to be focusing on the Revel trait, typically played with Corki as the main unit in a Revel team composition, but for this particular game we're actually not going to be playing through Corki, because this is a game where I'm going to end up getting a Revel emblem, which will allow me to turn a unit that is not normally a Revel champion into a Revel champion. So we'll be seeing that in a little bit. This video footage was taken from the first day of the current patch as I record this video. This patch in particular is one where mages were super popular. The word is that there is going to be a hotfix nerf to some of the mage units, in particular Nami, which is not surprising because that unit was overbuffed. And it's probably on the live client by the time that this video will get posted, because it's going to be like a day or two between me recording this video and it actually going up on YouTube. So I was looking to try to play mages in this setup, but I didn't want to be like so completely tied into mages that it was the only thing I could possibly play. I went ahead and took a bow off the initial carousel. I was thinking if I get a tier and a bunch of mage units, that could be Static Shiv, which is very good in a mage composition. Particularly for the early game, it's not great in the late game, but it's very useful if you're playing mages and you get the Static Shiv for the early game. And then I thought, or alternately, if I'm not seeing mages, then a bow gives me the opportunity to make a Rage Blade and to look to play into a more standard AD team composition. And so far, I'm not really seeing a lot of mages. I think we saw the Heimer, and that's about it. Getting the early Heimer and the early Trist was nice, though, because it's allowed me to put Trainer in play very early on. I think I had Trainer on the very first round you can actually have it in. You can't have it in on 1-2, but I did have it in on 1-3 because there was a Heimer in the shop, and then there was a Tristana that dropped from a minion orb. So, as I said, I think I had Trainer in on the earliest possible conceivable round that I could play it. All right, so I decide I don't think I'm going to play mages, but then, oh, look at this. Gain a Revel emblem, a Static Shiv, and a Jinx. I probably should have held a little bit longer on that screen, but I was so sure of what I was going to be playing, I just went ahead and clicked that. So this is the Revel Prismatic Augment. It goes ahead and allows you to put a Revel emblem on someone. You also get a Static Shiv and a Jinx, which is really nice. This is one of the better prismatic augments to get. So now I'm just going to put all these items. I was like, you know what? Let's just put every single item on Tristana. So Trist is normally Cannoneer plus Trainer, but I'm going to give her the Giant Slayer that I already had the items for. I'm going to put the Static Shiv that I got for free out of this prismatic augment, and then I'm going to put that Revel emblem on Jinx, or excuse me, on the Tristana. So Trist now has Cannoneer and Revel when she normally only has one of them. Plus, I've also got in Namzi very, very early on to start stacking up, and I'm hoping that this is going to be enough to let me get off to a good start in this game. The Static Shiv in particular is super duper nice for the early game. This is a Static Shiv does not scale great into the late game. I know I already said that. However, it is an item that's super nice in the early game because it's like every fourth attack, the unit that has Static Shiv fires out lightning. And it also debuffs the magic resistance of the enemy team. And that MR debuff is actually significant because that interacts with the Revel trait quite well because Revel deals magic damage. I'm actually going to read the official description of Revel here. All right, so Revel, after dealing damage with an ability, launch a firecracker that deals magic damage to a random ability, and then it deals more damage as Revel scales up. Right now, the numbers are 130, 160, 210, 280 magic damage. And you can only get Revel 5, which is the 280 magic damage, if you have a Revel emblem in, because there's only 4 Revel units, Tahm Kench, Jinx, Corki, and Sona. So I'm definitely going to play all 4 of those units, and then I'll have to put this Revel emblem on another unit as well to get the benefit. So I get a little bit lucky here in that this enemy team, which apparently is playing through the Warrior trait. I don't really recommend that. Apparently playing through the Warrior trait goes ahead and focuses on the right side of the board. I'm going to sell that unit to get up to 10 gold, and we're kind of off and rolling here. Now, you probably saw someone spam pinging in the lobby, and I just went ahead and muted that person because they're annoying. I don't feel like I need to mute everyone in the lobby, just that person who is being obnoxious. The reason for that is someone took Cruel Pact, which is a prismatic augment. It allows you to pay health to trade health for experience. And if you take this, the general idea is to go to level 7 right away, to pay like 70 health for 70 XP, and just get to level 7 immediately. And I'm actually hitting the person who's gone with Cruel Pact right now. I genuinely do not suggest ever picking this. The data on this is really bad. It's it's very likely to lead you to a bottom 4 finish, because even though, yes, you get access to, more expensive units early in the game, you give up so much health, you kind of put yourself down on just a couple of lives. And the other thing, just in order to play that many units, you have to bankrupt yourself economically too. So you leave yourself with no room for error, and you also kind of destroy your economy at the same time. This person who took it is basically like, yeah, I don't think that this is good. They just said they wanted to take it so they could try it one game. It does give you increased carousel priority. You are going to be first pick on stage 2 and stage 3 carousel, so that is something, but I don't really recommend taking this. And it's not great for the other players in the lobby, because it just messes up your ability to win streak. I think my board is pretty good here, but if I hit someone who's level 7 on stage 2, 3, yeah, I'm going to lose that round. That is not going to be a win. All right, so here I'm going to go ahead and grab this belt. I didn't want to take the tier. I could make another static shiv, but I don't want to make 2 static shivs. 1 is plenty. So I'm going to pass on that, and then I had the choice of 2 different belts. So I just take the one that's closer to me. It doesn't really matter. I'm hoping I can find Tom Kench. Tom would be pretty nice, because Tom would give me another rank in Revel trade. I'm sure that Tom will show up sooner or later. But for right now, I just have this random Sejuani. I just made a random Sej 2-star, and I'm going to play through this unit for my frontline along with Namzi for the time being. It's not great as far as frontline goes, but hopefully it'll hold up long enough for the Cannoneer and the Revels to do their job. Now, as far as the Cannoneer trait goes, there was a bit of a change to Cannoneer in this most recent patch. The designers nerfed the damage on Cannoneer 2, but they increased the damage on Cannoneer 3, 4, and 5. And the logic there was they wanted people to think about playing deeper into the trait instead of just playing Cannoneer 2, which was kind of standard in Corki builds. Typically in Corki builds, you would run Tristana and you'd run Corki, and those would be the only Cannoneers. So if that's the team setup, it's actually a nerf, but for anything else, it's actually a buff. It's also interesting that there's now a big jump point between Cannoneer 2 and Cannoneer 3. The way Cannoneer works, every 5th attack fires a cannon shot that explodes for physical damage around the target and scales off of the AD of the unit that has Cannoneer trait. Right now, after this patch change, Cannoneer 2 is 125% attack damage, which is 125%, not great. Cannoneer 3 jumps to 225% attack damage, so there's now a big jump from Cannoneer 2 to 3. And then it goes 125, 225, 325, 425. The problem with running Cannoneer, though, is a lot of the Cannoneer units are kind of not very good. If you want to run heavy Cannoneer, you have to run units like Senna, and Senna's not a very good unit. She's a 1 cost and doesn't scale very well into the rest of the game. So usually you want to try to minimize how many Cannoneer units you're actually running. But that said, if you can get to higher tiers of the trait, there is actually a lot of damage at Cannoneer 4 and Cannoneer 5. In this game, I'm not going to be focusing on Cannoneer trait very much. Because I have that Revel emblem, it's the Revel trait that I want in this game. I'm actually, Past Self is helpfully highlighting these abilities that I've just described. And by the way, look at this shop. I've been playing mages in all these other games and desperately trying to find Rise. But here's the game where I'm not playing mages, and it's here's a Nami, here's a Rise. You want to play these units? Would have liked having that in some other games. But nope, this is not a mage game. If you take the Revel emblem, you're not playing into mages. You're playing into additional Revel units. So remember, the way Revel works is every time a Revel unit uses their ability, it's going to fire off some additional rockets, and they're going to deal magic damage. So again, the static shiv is great because it's going to debuff magic resistance on some of these units. By the way, I can make another static shiv here if I want, but it's not really what I'm looking for. But again, you get the idea. It's going to make it so the static shiv debuffs their magic resistance, and then the Revel is going to just deal flat magic damage. So out of these items, I'm trying to think about what I wanted to do. I was planning to make a Rage Blade with that bow, but I have 2 bows, and at this point, it's let's just go ahead and make this static, make the rapid fire cannon. I'm also going to level to 6 and put in Nunu because that gives me better odds to find some of the more expensive units. I'd like to find Corki. I'd like to find Sona. And I was I think I'll just make this. I think I'm just going to make Rapid Fire Cannon. So my items are going to be the Revel emblem, the Giant Slayer, and then the Rapid Fire Cannon. Like, I don't need to force myself to take a Rage Blade. Rapid Fire Cannon will be better early in the fight, will not scale quite as well late in the fights, but it's perfectly good enough, and that's the item I've got, so I'm going to go ahead and take use of it, and I'm going to jump it on center for right now because Trist is already fully itemized, and I just want to make use of this item, so I don't want this to just sit on my bench doing nothing. So I'm tearing right through this team yet again. I've won every single round except the person who took Cruel Pact and was level 7. So it's kind of unlucky that I hit this person. I could have just dodged them. Like, it is possible that they could have just been one of the comps I haven't hit yet. There's, like, I think 2 comps I haven't seen yet. So I would have been much richer if I had just avoided that, since I think I beat everybody else in the lobby with my setup. As I said, the Revel emblem is quite strong. All right, so here I've got a choice. You might say, hey, why not Ricochet? Cannoneer shots bounce, deals 50% less damage. But I'm not playing through Cannoneer. I'm playing through Revel. I was tempted somewhat because it would have given me Trist 2-star, but it turns out I natural Trist 2-star in the shop anyway. So I was like, okay. So that worked out. And having Trist 2-star is definitely going to help me here. One thing about Cannoneer and Revel traits is they do flat damage. Well, Revel trait does flat damage. The Revel trait deals damage independent of what the unit's holding. Cannoneer does not deal flat damage. Cannoneer is a percentage of your AD. But for Revel, it really doesn't matter like what the unit has on them. They don't need to stack AD. They don't need to stack AP. The Revel is just a flat amount of magic damage. So what that means is if you want to get the maximum value out of a Revel unit, you want a unit that's going to cast an awful lot, or at least who's going to count as casting an awful lot. And it turns out that there's one unit that's really good at this, and that unit is Deja, who happens to be on the other team that we're seeing right now. This person that we're up against is playing a Mirage board, because for whatever reason, the way Deja's ability works is basically every auto attack that shoots out the little wind projectiles counts as proccing the Revel trait. Yeah, so I don't know if that's an intended interaction. It's been around since the beta environment, so the designers are well aware of this, and they've left it in the game for whatever reason. But if you ever get a Revel emblem, you want to be looking to play into Deja. Like, that is the unit you want to play. It's a little bit unfortunate that one other person is playing Deja in this lobby and has already found one to take one out of the pool. But as long as there's not like multiple people playing into Mirage trait, I think I should be okay. I wouldn't expect a lot of people to be playing Mirage in this lobby because the Mirage trait is actually Pirates, which is probably the weakest of the Mirage options. It does give you additional gold for at the end of every round, but it's it's just not one of the stronger abilities because it doesn't have any in combat abilities. So anyway, I should mention the augment I actually took. I mentioned before that I didn't take Ricochet, but what I ended up taking instead was one of the cybernetics. This is Cybernetic Shell. It gives any unit that's holding an item additional health and additional armor. All the cybernetic item augments, not items, all the cybernetic augments have very good win rates in the data. Like, they perform very, very well. So they are ones you should generally be looking to take overall. This one's going to be close, but it looks like I just lose. And that's the Cruel Pact person. So the fact that I was that close to beating the Cruel Pact person is a very good sign. Like, they're still level 7. They've been rolling it down. If they didn't have 2-star Anivia, I think I actually would have beaten them in that round. So I'm feeling like I'm in good shape. The only person who has beaten me is the Cruel Pact person. I've already hit them twice, which is pretty unlucky. We've only had 8 PvP rounds, and I've hit them twice already at the point in time in the game when they're at their absolute strongest. So yeah, aside from that, I've won every round. I am highest in health in the lobby, and now I pretty much have the items I need for Deja. So what I'm looking to do here is to fill out my front line. There unfortunately wasn't a good tank item there. I could have gotten yet another bow, but I'm going to go ahead and take this glove. I don't know what I'm going to use it for right now, but it is on a 4 gold champ, and I can make something out of it down the road. So we'll figure it out. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and level here and put in Tom, and this is just to get another rank of Revel in. That's right. I remember this game. I decided I just wanted to go to 7, in part because I wanted to get Tom in for another rank of Revel from 130 to 160, and more importantly, it also increases the odds that I'm going to find Deja in the store. So go from 5% odds to 15% odds to find those 4-cost units. We're also having pretty good luck at stacking up Namzi because I hit the Trist 2-star relatively early. We've been stacking this unit up relatively quickly. And of course, I had Namzi in at like an absurdly early date. So Namzi's going to transform into the 2-star version right after this round. By the way, this round is mostly close because the Diana is right on top of Trist. It's like, come on, Trist, you got this. It's really close. Trist is going to survive, though. Now, can we finish off the Xayah? And it looks like Static Shiv got her. Yep, that's the value of that Static Shiv. Note that Trist did almost entirely magic damage because that's kind of what I'm playing through right now. Playing through Revel trait, playing through the Static Shiv. So if Trist was going to be my long-term carry, I would not itemize Trist this way. But, you know, Trist is just holding the items right now that I have for these other units. And, oh, by the way, I find the Corki in the shop. That's super nice. And, again, that's part of why it can be good to level early. Why it can be good to level at early points in time. Because I did have the 15% odds to get 4-cost units, and so that makes it more likely that Corki's going to show up in the store. So I'll take Tom out for the moment. Corki's going to give me a rank of Cannoneer and a rank of Revel, so I'm going to get a lot of Cannoneer damage, going to maintain 3 Revel. Now I just need to find Sona and then find a way to get into a Bruiser front line, which is what I want long-term, so that I can play... I ideally want to play Tom plus Ornn for my front line, which is a very standard kind of front line if you're going to be playing... into a Corki comp. Oftentimes, when you play Corki, you play Idis for frontline. You can also play Shioyu. I've seen people even play Siphon for frontline. But in a setup like this, we want to play Deja. And oh, bet you thought we were going to lose that one, right? But nope. Static Shiv plus Revel trait plus the, I think, Trist's own natural ability exploding means we clutch this one out on literally 1% HP. Again, I was not expecting to win all these rounds, but I was able to win just barely. And again, that's also probably... a function of going to level 7. And look what we found. Once again, we find another Trist. Or excuse me, we find Sona. So that can get us up to 4 Revel. We do drop down to 3 Cannoneer, but I'm much more focused on Revel right now as opposed to Cannoneer trade. And I do have to pick up this Trist because remember, we're going to have to sell and replace Trist down the road. So I've also got this Silas here in the store. I'll pick up that as well. And I'm going to be looking to move out of the Sedge pretty soon. That's why I dropped the Nunu, because I'm going to look to move out of... And then I actually get an Ornn as well. And as soon as I see the Ornn, I'm like, all right, it's going to be time to move out of Cavalier frontline, and we're going to move over to Bruiser frontline. So we're going to move out of the Cavalier frontline. Sedge was great, but we're going to transition out of her. And because I have 2-star Silas, I'm going to play Silas as my main tank for right now. And I'm going to hope that I can find 2-star Ornn later. But until I actually find 2-star Ornn, I can hold off on making any changes there. All right, so I'm going to put the Gargoyle Stone Plate in. And then I'm going to put Redemption because I have no other really way to use this tier. And look at what we got now. 5 Revel, 3 Cannoneer, 2 Bruiser, 2 Trainer. But the big thing is 5 Revel. Now, we don't have Deja in yet, but ooh, 5 Revel. That feels pretty good. So again, just to give you the damage on 5 Revel, it's 280 magic damage anytime any of the Revel units deals damage with an ability. So that's a lot of magic damage. So now we just need to get Deja in so that Deja's proccing it on like every single auto attack. This round is pretty close. I'm hoping that we can hold up against the Siphon. Can you get that stun off, Heimerdinger? Looks like we were able to win that one. I'm actually looking to drop Heimer and replace with Lulu, but I just haven't seen Lulu yet. Heimer really does not fit this comp at all. You just need to be in there for Trainer trait. All right, here is our last augment, and I'm like, you know, I really shouldn't take party favors. Gain 1 gold for every 6 firecrackers. Additionally, gain a special prize the first time 75 total firecrackers are launched. Gain a jinx. I really shouldn't take this because I should try to just take a combat augment for this last choice. But I was like, I mean, if I'm ever going to get value out of this, it's going to have to be right now. So I go ahead and take this. And again, this is not a combat augment. It just provides money, but it should provide an awful lot of money. And in fact, I should soon be disgustingly rich here because if I can find Deja, I'm going to get Pirate straight in. That's the Mirage ability of this game. And with this Revel thing, it's every 6 fireworks, you get 1 gold. Well, I should easily be getting like 3, 4, 5 gold per round because I'm going to be launching a lot of fireworks with Revel 5. Every single one of my Revel units is going to be proccing this. So Corki, Jinx, Sona, Tom Kench, the, Tristana, as long as she's got this on. And then, again, I mentioned Deja should proc it with, like, every auto. Look at Sona dealing damage there. Nice work, Sona. Getting those stuns off. This person's got Ascension, but I think that we're just going to finish them off. So you're also seeing here the value of early Revel 5. Remember, you cannot make Revel 5 early. Normally, you can't make Revel 5 at all. You have to have a Revel emblem to get this. So because it deals flat damage, it is stronger earlier in the game. To some extent, it does fall off later in the game unless you can really itemize a carry correctly. So I'm just taking advantage of like having something that I really should not have Oh, by the way, there's my 4 gold from the firecrackers. I really should not have that this early in the game, and because it deals 280 magic damage, like flat magic damage, it's just really strong for this stage of the game. Anyway, I was able to find Lulu, so that's a plus. I'm very happy to have Lulu. Much better unit than Heimer. Also gives me the option to play into Mystic later on if I want to put Bard in the team comp, which I would love to do if I can find Bard. Also puts Evoker trait in play for Sona, which is great. It means Sona's going to cast more often. Keep tossing out those Revel procs. And I'm actually on a 4-match winning streak, so I'm in pretty good shape here. Again, I have only lost to the Cruel Pact player thus far in the lobby. No one else has beaten me. Unfortunately, this fight's a little unfortunate. Siphon goes right onto my carries, goes right onto the Sona and onto the Trist. And that's not really the unit that I wanted this person to be I didn't want the Siphon to be targeting that part of the line. Also notice what this person has for their Prismatic Augment. They have Prismatic Celestial, so every time the Siphon charges and bites, Siphon's getting a ton of health back. And oh, that's close, but just barely come up short. If Trist had been on the left-hand side, I 100% win that. So a little bit unfortunate, but when you're up against 3 different comps in the lobby, you can't always position for all of them. By the way, look at this lobby. Look at the health bars in this lobby. I'm on 81. Everyone else is 50 or less. On stage 4 carousel, like that's pretty crazy to be that low this early in the game. The reason for that is because of the Cruel Pact player. The Cruel Pact player took like 70 health out of the lobby, like right away. And then they've been dealing big losses to everybody else. So it really shortens the pace of the game just by removing a lot of health from everyone. All right, so I'm going to go to level 8 here. I'm going to look to try to find Deja. That is my hope. And oh, well, guess we're high rolling this game, folks. Just going to get that unit in right away. I found that like instantly. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put the RFC on. We're going to put the Giant Slayer. And then that'll going to allow me to put the Static Shiv on someone else. I'm going to make a Hand of Justice on Corki, Static Shiv on Jinx. Now remember, I have Cybernetic Shell, so whenever I put an item on someone, they're going to get some additional health, and less importantly for my backline units, they're going to get a little bit of additional armor as well. But it does add up over time, and I think you get about 300 health and 30-ish armor by putting an item on someone, and it does make a big difference getting that. So I do not feel bad about that, and Deja's items are really good. And oh, by the way, you might notice that pretty much every single Deja auto attack fires out little rockets. Yeah, that's why this interaction is so strong. Deja just did 7,700 damage, and it's still a 1-star Deja, and I'm not even close to maxing out this board. Now the issue was I couldn't find an easy way to get Sona onto my board. I was like, I think that because I have this Party Favors augment, I think I just rush level 9 and play Sona at 9. That's what taking this augment does. It's just, oh my god, look at all that gold! Oh man, that's crazy. Look at all that gold. That's now that's not all from the firecrackers. That was me hitting the, you have launched 75 firecrackers and you get another bonus. But I got an extra item. I got this chain vest, and then I also got a Tome of Traits, and that allowed me to pull Cannoneer Emblem. So I was like, I'm just going to go to 9 and put the Cannoneer Emblem on Sona. It'll count as an item on Sona, so she'll get the cybernetic benefit. And then I've got this leftover chain vest. I was like, I'm just going to toss it on Tom, but wait, let's see what item we get out of the Treasure Dragon next. So, I'm trying to take the fact that I have this economic augment and using it to rush 9 super duper fast. And I think that I can get there really quickly, play Sona, and then we'll have 5 Revel 4 Cannoneer with Revel Deja. Yeah, that feels good. That feels very good. And I'm also hoping that I'll be able to hit 2-star Ornn at some point. But until I actually hit 2-star Ornn, much better to play the Silas. I'd rather have the 2-star Silas than a 1-star Ornn. It would be silly to make that swap right now. By the way, we're also still stacking up Namzi too. So yeah, I'm going to hit 3-star Namzi before the next PvP combat round. And here we got Treasure Dragon. So again, I'm mostly looking for frontline at this point in time. I just want stuff that's going to make my frontline stronger. Looks like I got 6 gold from fireworks that round. Oh my god. That means I launched 36 fireworks that round? Holy cow. And I was pretty happy with this setup from the Treasure Dragon because, number 1, it gives me a Zephyr. Number 2, it's going to give me a Shroud. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this Shroud. So now I'm going to have the Zephyr plus Shroud screw you combo, which is just going to be nightmarish for other people trying to play against me. I can put the Zephyr on someone else. I can put the Zephyr on Lulu. I can put the Sword on Trist. And oh, look at this. Look at the value I'm getting from Cybernetic Shell. Plus, I've got so much money, I can just go to level 9. And I was like, let's just go to level 9 right here. Let's just get the Sona in. I'm going to get even more gold. Wait, what was that from? Oh, that was from... Wait, was that from Pirates? I don't even know where I got that gold. Oh, it was the fireworks from... it was the fireworks from, I guess, one of the previous rounds? I'm not sure. I don't even know why I got so much there. Maybe that was a bug, actually. I think I got the firework value twice there. Oh, well, in any case, but we're level 9 now. We're level 9, 27 gold. I have a Shroud, I have a Zephyr, and now I have Revel 5 in. So watch how many fireworks that Deja is launching. This is just, like, every 2 seconds, you see fireworks getting launched out, and every single one's doing 280 damage. My front line is not especially great, but it's like, does it even matter? Like, I just tear through enemy teams so quickly. It's pretty nutty. And this person is typing to me is like, oh no, just when I needed one more turn. So I was like, sorry, I'm sorry I knocked you out. Not really that sorry, but oh well. But I just wanted to be like, sorry, GG. Very fast-paced lobby. Again, that's due to the Cruel Pact being in there. And that's like, oh, well, there's Deja. There's another like 10 gold to roll with. So let's roll and see if we can 2-star Deja. There's another Ornn. What else can we find? I guess I could technically try to go for Triss 3-star. There's a Bard, but can I get Bard in this team? I'm not sure that I can. Still looking to... Yeah, so you see me sell that because I was like, I don't see how I actually get this unit on my board. There's Sona 2-star, though, so that's feeling good. Now, of course, I've rolled myself down to 0, but, like, I'm going to get, like, another 10 gold again at the next round. So I'm looking at who I'm most likely to hit. Most of the teams were positioned on left-hand side, so I'm going to move the Shroud to the left-hand side, move Sona to the right-hand side, so Sona's ult will hit this team, and we have just annihilated this team from a positioning standpoint. We're kind of hitting everything. Look at that Sona ult. Oh, my God. So yeah, do you like fireworks? Well, you're going to get to see a lot of them in this game. I didn't even think that person's board was that bad, but we just absolutely ripped through that person. And like this lobby is this lobby is almost over already. Everyone else is on 20 health or less. So yeah, Cruel Pact does some weird things to the lobby. If you see someone running Cruel Pact in one of your games, it's very important to be strong early on because the game is just not going to last that long. And it looks like the Cruel Pact person is now getting very low as well. So, yeah, there's my Fireworks gold. There's my Pirates gold. Can we find Corki? Can we find Deja? Come on, show me one more Deja. One more Deja. There we go. 2-star Deja. Now, it actually doesn't even matter as much because the damage from Revel trait, again, is not related to how strong Deja herself is. The main thing is just that this adds more survivability for Deja. And sure, you know, the ability will do more damage because it just innately is going to do more damage for Deja being 2-star. But mostly this is about survivability. Just, it's not like the attack speed goes up for Deja or anything. So mostly this is just to make sure that unit survives. But honestly, the other teams are not even getting through my front line. They really have not gotten through the Silas and the Namzi. And who's the last unit? The Tom. Like, by the time they're through the front line, everything is dead. Because Revel is doing such insane damage. And I still don't even have 2-star Corki yet. So, yep. And then this other person types good night. So, I actually, what was it? I knocked out the, I guess I knocked out the Cruel Pact player. Yeah, I knocked out the Cruel Pact player. So I felt a little bad about that, but oh well. Oh, looky, what do we have here? It's another Revel emblem. Another Revel emblem. You know, I probably should not have picked this up. I think so I actually do pick this up. But I think the correct play in retrospect is that I should take the Whispers emblem, because that would actually put Whisper trait in play, and I could have put it on Corki, and then Corki's damage would actually be shredding the armor and MR of the other team as well. So I actually think that this is a mistake. And then I was like, do I want to remove Jinx? Like, normally I would take out Jinx and then put the Revel emblem on someone else. I was like, I think I want to keep Jinx in because it's Revel plus Cannoneer. But I do decide that I'm going to try to play this Yasuo instead. I was like, you know, Yasuo's got to be better than Tahm Kench. I know I lose Bruiser, but like it's got to be better to play Yasuo. Oh, I went past a Yasuo. Oh, there was one in the store and I missed it. That's sad. I have to believe that Yasuo is better than playing Tahm Kench at this stage of the game. And it also lets me place this Zephyr, or this Shroud, so that's pretty nice. Let's just go ahead and drop in Shroud, that Siphon. And I don't know what Yasuo is actually going to do, but you know what? He casts an awful lot. Remember, Yasuo's mana cost is only 20, so he's going to proc Revel an awful lot. Now I just need to get him some survivability, or I would if this game was going to last more than like 10 more seconds. It doesn't feel like this game is going to last much longer, because we're already down to just 3 players, and 2 of them are on 11 HP and 9 HP. Are we even going to make it to stage 5 minion round? I'm not sure that we are. So anyway, yeah, I'm just continuing to roll. I have 1 billion gold to roll with. There's another Corki, but I've already 2-starred Corki. I have this Bard. I would desperately like to play Bard, but I don't really see an easy way to get Bard in. There's another Yasuo. Oh, could have had 2-star Yasuo. Could have had 2-star Yasuo with Revel emblem on. That would have been nice to have. Anyway, so I don't know which one of these 2 teams I'm likely to hit, but I believe they're both positioned on right-hand side. So I'm going to try to shift over here. I should have shifted Ornn slightly more to the left. I actually have Ornn a little bit mispositioned. If Ornn and Namzi had swapped, then I'd be in perfect setup here. But Sona's in perfect position. Deja is very safe. And oh my god, the firework damage is just insane. The 3-star Nidalee and the Nico just melt in an instant. So that person's out of the lobby. And my ghost beats another person. And that's it. The game's over. We don't even get to stage 5 minion rounds. I just win the whole lobby on stage 5, 6. What? This is maybe the shortest game of TFT I've ever played as far as a first place finish goes. So yeah, I only lost 3 rounds the entire game. 2 of them to the Cruel Pact player. And then I had that round where Siphon beat my board. So it's a first. And it's going to get me the 77 LP. So yeah, what a game. Really had fun putting this together. Definitely the Revel emblem on Deja is very overpowered. So if you would get Revel out of a Tome of Trait or from an augment, definitely look to play Deja with it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this short video. Until next time, take care, folks, and have a great week.